Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we're going to give our first impressions of Tipperary,
I
something like
believe
that.
Tipperary.
I don't know if I pronounced that exactly correctly, but yeah. So this was one actually that we just played last night for the first time. We've only played it once, um, and yeah, you had kind of brought this one up originally.
Yes, so we did kind of games we are looking forward to in being released in Essen this year, and this is one that I saw, and just based on the cover, I was drawn into it. Felt like a very peaceful setting, and then from gameplay, it looked like another pretty solid, cool polyomino
Hmm.
tile placement game, which is one of my favorite, one of the safest comfort food mechanisms for me in a game, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. We have a decent amount of polyomino games, but yeah, I would say that was the main draw of this game was putting together, doing some tile placement of
Yep.
polyominoes, kind of getting groups, kind of a king domino style for some of the pieces you're trying to kind of connect them, and then kind of has as we played it anyway, I didn't know exactly what this all did. I knew there was polyominoes and you were kind of making a landscape, your own tableau,
Yep.
but then it's also got a little bit of feeling of Planet Unknown slightly,
Yep.
and then yeah, just some other things as well, kind of Euro-y style, I would
Yep.
say. But yeah, so we played this one, and I would say that it was on the lighter side
Yep.
of games. So this one is maybe a little bit lighter than it says 8 plus on the side of the box, and don't typically ever play with kids, so I really don't have any real feel of like what age groups would be able to handle what. And obviously, I think too from kid to kid it could be very different. It says 45 minutes on the box,
Yeah.
and I think that's probably right.
I
Even
think
at a
that's
two-player game, it's probably shorter than that. Even.
yeah. It was pretty quick, and you kind of felt it as it went, as you each pick a tile, and then oh, that's one of the 12 turns. It's like what? That's one tile. I'm barely gonna be able to build anything, but I do feel that you did actually get to. Because I was afraid if it would feel like I actually accomplished much, but
Mm-hmm.
it did feel for me that I was able to. But yeah, it is a pretty quick one, pretty snappy one, and yeah, pretty approachable as well. I would say if you play Carcassonne, this is probably equal level.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a little more than King Domino, just because King Domino is simple
Yeah.
multiplication for scoring, and this has
Right.
a few different ways to score, so I think it is a little closer to a Carcassonne in that way.
Yeah, I would agree. I was trying to kind of think of what level I'd put this one at, but I think it is kind of still in that entry level game. I don't even know if I'd say it's next level. Because yeah, I think it does have some more scoring elements to it, and but I don't think any of them are too difficult to
No,
understand.
no.
Um, but yeah, so in this game, kind of, if you've ever played Planet Unknown, you know there's kind of the different depots you get to choose tiles from. In this one, instead of kind of selecting which one, like every time it's your turn or you're the start player, you get to kind of select in Planet Unknown which depot you want to pick the tile from. In this one, you just spin this thing and you get given a random depot of two different tiles, and you get to add one to your kind of landscape.
Yeah.
So it's pretty simple, and then everyone else, because you all have a symbol on this spinner thing, everyone else gets the one corresponding to them. Looks like it plays up to 5 players. And yeah, so then you take that tile, and then you have to place it adjacent to kind of your previously laid tiles or your initial starting tile. And then there's some that you want to group together as a big group. You're trying to get some sheep in this one. You're
Yep.
trying to get them all together, and you're trying to also produce some barrels of whiskey. So you need the actual
So you need the fields and
fields
then
next
the
to
factory, and
yeah.
for every time you put those next to each other, that will move you along a whiskey
Little
track,
track.
which will sometimes give you bonuses of additional sheep along the way. Otherwise, they are just gaining you more and more points.
Right, and then for the kind of swampy marshland or whatever it is, trying to get two of those, and then you get one
Yep.
random tile. Could be good for you, might
Yep.
not be as good.
Yep.
And then you're trying to get, I think, 3 walls in a straight line, and then
Yep.
you get an additional kind of little castle thing that kind of helps you fill in gaps in your puzzle, because kind of one of the other big things at the end of the game is you score for your biggest rectangular full area.
Yep.
So pretty simple overall. Yeah, I enjoyed the play of this one. I think it is definitely a more, it's close to filler style, I would say, because I think even at that higher player count, it's probably still going to go really fast
since
because
it
it's
is
all simultaneous.
Simultaneous, yes.
And I think it's actually, is it less rounds?
I think it is
So, I think
less
10 rounds
rounds
instead of
at
12.
4, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe just 5. It's 10 rounds.
So yeah, I think this one's still going to go pretty quick, no matter what. I mean, it's going to go as quick as your slowest player.
Yep.
Essentially. Kind of like most simultaneous games do, but I don't think there's that much to think about here that it's going to cause any AP, really. Not too much.
No.
I mean, there's a couple decisions you'll have to make. There are definitely decisions, but with the option of 2 tiles, I mean, there's only so much kind of deciding you can do.
Yeah,
it's
if
not like
your grid's getting kind of funky, it might be a little longer to try to figure out how you actually want to place that tile, but yeah, especially if you're familiar with the games, like I said, we play a lot of polyomino games, so we can just jump right into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Obviously, I just love kind of placing the polyomino, and I think that the ways of scoring, they were familiar. So create a large group of sheep, but I found that to be fun and satisfying, and you're going to score 1 for every sheep in your largest herd either way. Even if you do not have the majority, you just get a bonus for that. Bonus 5 points if you do have the largest, but you are still scoring points there, so you can always, it feels good when it's like that. Some games it's like you're trying to win. If you don't win it, then you don't get anything. I like that you do still get those points.
Yeah, that is a nice little piece to that scoring.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it. I'd probably come in probably a 6.5 to 7 for me. It's just a little bit lighter than my preferred taste, and I think I would pick King Domino over this, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think there'd be times that I would definitely be willing to take this out. And I think if I had 5 players and I'm looking for kind of a quicker game to play, I think this one would be perfect for that. Because even like I would prefer Planet Unknown personally. It's definitely heavier than this game by quite a bit. But that one also is going to take way longer than this. You could probably play like 3 games of this, maybe more.
I would think so. Yeah.
By the time you play Planet Unknown, just because of how quick this is. Not that Planet Unknown is so long that it's like unbearable, but this one just that quick. And I think I'm wondering if the scoring, like if you played this one a lot, would feel. I don't know, because I have played King Domino quite a bit, and I would say the scoring in that is not like crazy.
Yeah, it's
from game to game. So, or I mean, it's
about the most same from game to game scoring.
And I do like that one quite a bit. So maybe this is just like I said, we've only played this once. I'm just thinking in my head that maybe it would kind of feel too samey, but I don't. Depending on how those tiles come out, it could feel different. I don't know. We were a 2-player game. If it's how different it would feel at like a 4-player game, because there is that luck factor of. You're spinning the tile, or you're spinning the
Sometimes they're bigger tiles, smaller tiles, so if someone's just getting a lot of large tiles, they might be able to create a bigger group for the end.
So yeah, there's a little bit more luck to this one, I think, than I think that's where King Domino to me, you do kind of, there's some luck in which tiles come out, but you kind of can set yourself up sometimes, even in like a 2-player game where, well, if I pick these ones that are better ones, I can pick them, but I'm going to be picking 3rd and 4th the next time, so I'm probably going to get worse tiles in. Whereas this, it's like, I could get a great tile, or I might not, but I really have nothing to do with that.
That is a pretty easy house rule. If that does bother you, you can just spin it to choose whichever you want on your turn.
That's true.
So, I mean, really nothing to actually worry about there.
Right.
Just up to preference in that case.
Yep.
So I would probably give this...
And I would say I didn't ever feel like, because it was spinning, like I was getting screwed or anything. So I don't think it has that feel to it.
Yeah, the tiles...
Unless you're really, like looking at it and like, oh, I really need that tile.
Like most of the tiles are pretty large and have a lot of spaces and a lot of unique spaces. So you're usually going to be able to get something that benefits you, I think. I would probably give this one between a couple numbers here. I'm like, I know
between 1 and 10.
Between 1 and 10.
Somewhere in there.
I'd probably I'll give this a 9.
Oh wow.
I was thinking 8.5 to 9, and I'm like, I think this just fills exactly what I was looking for, in more of a filler, approachable, comfortable tile placement game. And I was worried scoring wise because I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be that interesting, but I did find it satisfying and interesting. I think there's just enough unique spots on these tiles
Yep.
to make it interesting every tile, whether you are building one of those walls or just adding to your sheep or possibly getting a wild tile and drawing, hoping to get the right one to fill in your spot. I just thought that I was interested throughout, no matter what tile I was getting, like you said.
Yeah, that's totally fair, and I could see this one. Once I get to 5 plays or whatever, this one could definitely maybe go up for me. Maybe then I'll see like some additional things. But yeah, I think for me it probably I really love Planet Unknown. If you go check out our top 50 of all time, and I'm not saying you can't love both, but I'm gonna compare it to that in my head.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot to live up to.
Only because
But it's
of
a
the
totally
tile
different thing.
choice.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Is it feels similar, even though
Yeah.
it's kind of different. So, but yeah, this one is a solid, I would say, family weight game. So this is one that I think you could probably play with non-gamers pretty easily.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be that hard to explain it to someone, but
Yeah, I'd
maybe,
say this
maybe
would
I'm wrong.
this would be a pretty great one, kind of like a hidden sleeper pick to be one of the first
true.
ones in your collection.
I don't know when this is coming out, but we are filming this towards the end of November, and I was just thinking this could be a good Christmas gift, possibly.
That would be a good Christmas
if
gift.
you're looking to try to maybe get a game for someone that doesn't typically play some of the games.
Yeah.
This one could be, because the artwork's good too. It's got some
wooden
solid
sheep
components.
meeples and some
So
barrels.
might be one worth
Although I
looking
will
at.
say that this bag of tiles
Yeah,
is absolutely packed.
yeah, you're not gonna get to the bottom
So
tiles.
there are some removed here, but still, like, there's no shuffling these.
Right.
You kind of have to slide them all in there, and
So
some of the
whatever's at the
smaller
bottom
ones
there,
is gonna stay there. Yeah.
Right. So that's true.
You can just throw them in get a bigger bag, or throw them in the box, or just have them in the
Yeah,
bag.
that's true.
However.
You can throw them in the top of the box and just kind of pick that way too. But yeah, otherwise, if you want to see a little bit closer up of this game, you check out our unboxing video going up alongside this. If you liked this video, definitely give us a thumbs up. But otherwise, we hope to see you on our other videos. And as always, don't forget to
Keep on nibbling.
on our content.